That is like absolutely perfect. I have a 40%, I would say it's going to be grand. Now, as it just presses the alignment button on this, and it just, all those things just move it on.
Right, before we get into today's video, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody that bought some merch over the weekend. The support from you guys has been absolutely fantastic. And to show you guys how important you are, this year we're going to be doing more things to give back to you, the people that keep this channel alive. I'm really going to have to apologise for the state of the office. Adam, how did you make the office so bad?
I didn't do anything.
And this was actually, I think, mostly, well, you know what? My desk is there, Blaine's is there. Blaine's looks a lot worse than mine. Anyways, back to my point of we're giving back to you guys. So, Adam has been busy.
Busy, yeah, because we launched a new range last Friday, and it's probably flying out, is the only way to describe it. You have like 100 orders done, I think I have another this many to do.
That's a Harry Potter book right there. Okay, so the way that we're going to be giving back, and I'm going to be doing this more and more each month, maybe a few times, however much, I don't really know, I haven't really thought too much about it. So I'm just going to be randomly going through a few people's orders or person's order each month, and we're just going to be kind of throwing something in for free. It may be you're a repeat customer, you've ordered a lot, you've said something funny in the, is there any comment section there?
Well, I got one that said, "Hello, Adam," so someone knows I do the orders, and someone did write that in, so someone cares.
Well, you know what, that could be worthy of even getting something for free, as little as "Hello, Adam." Yeah. Everyone's going to say hello now.
Everybody's going to say hello. But I say one guy ordered gift wrapping on his, because we do actually offer gift wrapping. We still have some of the boxes left.
Right. So this is a present for somebody. Giving them a banner.
Giving them the Team Gear banner. I'm gonna give them because I'm feeling.
But you know what? There's two. But you know what? We're gonna give them two.
There you go. Yeah, sorry, gone.
You can't say no on camera now. You may clean the office as well, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a busy day at the shed today. Lots of things going on, so we'll catch up when we're over there.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're going to do a little bit of a how-to. We've never done a how-to on the channel before because we generally don't know how to do anything. But today we are going to show you guys how to get perfect stance and fitment on your car. And we're going to do it across 3 different cars that also need it. So obviously, as you guys know, our good friend Wayne has got a laser alignment machine and is a good man at aligning drift cars and cars in general. So we're going to show you a couple of different setups. One of the cars is in the yard, which is my Toyota Supra. We're going to put a set of BC Racing coilovers on that, lower it a little bit, but that's going to be not a hugely stanced car. It's going to be just a nice car that looks good on the road, good fitment, but a bit of a balance and a compromise that it's still drivable every day. You guys will remember, if you've been watching the channel, this is my GX100. We put some big old wheels on this, and as you can see, they do not fit very well on the car. They rub really bad at the back and they rub at the front. So what we're going to try and do is put adjustable arms on this car from Hard Race, and we're going to try and align this car that it's drivable on the road, has awesome stance, it's going to have a lot of camber and look very, very cool, but it still won't be rubbing and still drivable. And then that's sort of your middle ground. Your extreme case is this PS13, which runs, you gotta remember, this car started with 16-inch wheels that were probably on a 205 or 215 tire. It's now sitting on 18 by 10.5, 0 offset on the front, and 18 13J minus 25 on the back. So this car is not designed to have wheels this big, meaning you've got to adjust all the arms to make sure that it runs. So what we're going to do is try and make all 3 of these cars drivable by the end of this video, show you guys the process we go through to get them stance, to get some fitment, and hopefully you learn a little bit about the do's and the don'ts. And again, you go for a show setup or you go for a stancy but you'll compromise setup, and then you go for a road setup. There's 3 different ways of doing it. So let's get this thing over to Wayne's ramp. We'll start changing the adjustable arms on this, and you guys will see this car go from completely undrivable and rubbing to a car that we can drive out the gate later on today. So we've got a very special pack. By the way, have we ever seen 2 more? Two opposites of the 4-door range here. We've got the GX100 and... Tommy, what is this thing? What's it called? A Rover or something?
It's a Rover P5.
A Rover P5.
And I want to say, he just informed us that this is the bulb for the car.
That's the headlight bulb.
It looks like the headlight, but that is just actually...
It looks like the bulb from a street lamp. That's what it looks like. But so Tommy's but basically this here is a contrast. We're not stancing this today anyway. This is staying up. This one's on the standard springs. But we did have an issue because not a lot of people make the adjustable arms for these cars, even the GX100s. There's a couple all over the world. But we got in touch with the guys from hardrace.ie, and I have to say the customer service was fantastic because I was telling them exactly what I wanted to do and how many arms I needed. So one thing you've got to realize is that obviously we want to put camber in the car, and the easiest thing would be to buy front and rear camber arms. The problem is, with all the 3 arms connected at the back, if you put extreme camber, all the other arms are going to be out of sync. So what'll end up happening is you'll camber the wheels, but they'll turn in, or they'll mostly turn in, and then you've got really bad wear and the car is sort of crabbing down the road. So you have to adjust all the arms in the back. We got the front camber arms for the car because the front has natural adjustability from your toe and stuff, for obviously if you're lining it or tracking it or whatever. So we're hoping that'll be enough. So we've got all the arms to the back, camber arms to the front, and they're here in the boxes, and they arrived within 2 days, which is pretty impressive. Thank you to hardrace.ie. You go on the website, they've got a load of cool stuff there. Anyway, so you can see here on the BCs that we have in the back of this, we have adjusted this quite high because, as you can see, it's done a number on the paint here when we drove it.
That's almost that's one journey.
One journey's done that. So as you can see, the arches are rolled on this, so it's fine, but it's just taking a little bit of paint off. So we'll have to touch that up once we get this. There's no point doing it while we're at the car on bad fitment. Here's the so this arm, this arm, this arm, and this arm. These are all being changed. So we can now move the wheel left to right, in and out, whatever way we want, and we obviously want to move it in so we can get the top of the wheel, which now sits out here inside this, meaning we can lower the car on the BCs and get perfect fitment. And I'm going to show you how we adjust that later on. So the first thing Wayne's going to do is throw all the arms in the car, give ourselves a rough idea, and then we'll start working out the fitment. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through, we're just having a laugh there because you guys missed that, but these are the arms, so you can see them fitted here. So what these essentially allow you to do is adjust, obviously, your toe, your camber, top and bottom, and everything else like that. And obviously there's some adjustment in the camber bolts here as well. So all the arms fitted really well, good quality stuff. And we then decided to try and see where that would take us on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to have to preface this, which is a word that I don't use often on the vlog. So this car is a 2-litre automatic, so this is a style that I'm going for, which is very akin to like the Japan stand style or the US stand style. This car has 140 horsepower or whatever, so it's not a fast car, so I just want it to look really good. We do have a 1J coming for this car, so the only way we'll make that get traction on the back is to put an over fender on the car and actually flatten out the wheels. But for the minute, just for the crack, we decided to see what we have to do. And this is pretty extreme camber on the back of the car. Like
this is the camber almost maxed.
It's almost maxed out.
It's going to go in the arch now.
Yeah, so now we'll take, where's this, the little thing? It's over here. That is like absolutely perfect. Yeah, that is like serious. Now that's ridiculous. Obviously it looks like the car is broken at the back, but that's the style. Like you just put mega camber on it to make it fit. That will clear and not rub at that. So the question is how drivable that is.
I would say that's on this part of the tyre.
Yeah, it looks good though.
So you're going to be taken in by this. Technically it fits, technically.
The wheel fits. Technically that fits at that. So if we do lower it, and we've obviously raised it for when the wheels didn't fit, we could literally have that come all the way down really low and it will look absolutely unreal. How legal it is and how drivable it is questionable, but we'll take it for a spin and see. If we get away with it, we get away with it. Remember, this car would have come with very small tyres to begin with, so we're technically just only using the bit of the original tyre that it would have sat on, but then it's on a strange angle, but it does look very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it on the ground.
Percentage rate if you think this is going to work?
99 point. Nah, but I would say at the way it is now, I have a 40%. I would say it's going to be grand, and then I think we'll have to do a bit of adjustment. If it's grand at that and it's got that camera, so it looks serious. But yeah, it's going to be very low now as well. It's like ridiculous.
I hate to say it.
It looks
It does look serious.
It looks serious.
You can actually take a bit of camber out of it.
I won't be happy with some meal for that. I'll keep it like water.
Jesus.
He's coming in with the positivity.
Yeah, but look how solid it is. Look.
That's because it's sitting on the tires, Tommy. It's not right there.
It's still on there.
Well, the front is no issue. We can actually come down lower at the front.
You know what? I wasn't for this at all. Seeing it now.
It's starting to look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I can take a bit. If you take a little bit of the camber out.
And just come up a little bit. Because you're going to have to match the front anyway. It looks silly being so low and then the front not being low.
Yeah, that's the thing that looks silly.
I'd say come up at the back, what, 15 mil? 10 mil?
15. Take a bit of camber out.
Yeah, 15 mil up at the back and take a little bit of the camber out and she should be A1. Hold that thought. We love our drift cars here at Drift Games, but we don't drive drift cars on the road, we drive sensible cars. And if we're in the market for a used car, we come here to Moorfield Motors. These guys have an amazing selection of everything from luxury cars to first-time buyers to commercials. So if you're in the market for an amazing used car, check out their full stock list online at moorfieldmotors.ie, and if they don't have it in stock, they can source it for you.
So going for attempt number 2.
Yeah, so we've flared the arches a little bit. As you can see, it's scuffed the paint a little bit, but we'll get that repaired. Once we know the stance is good and it's not rubbing, we can do that. This is just to see if our calculations are correct. That is not bad at all. That's actually fine. You get away with that. I think it's a bit of a middle ground for the roads around here, because a lot of people say, oh, just slam it and it's not part. I say, if we slam it, this car will not get to my house because there's speed bumps and divots and horrible roads. So I want it to still be a car that I can hop in and drive every day, and I think it's actually not bad. So now that we've taken it for a little spin around the yard, it's not rubbing. We might be able to put a little bit more camber out of that. We've gone extreme camber and started pulling it back. That's kind of the way we're going to do it to make sure that it still drives. We've set the BCs now, they were on full hard just to get me home the other night, but now we've set them halfway, so it should be comfortable enough. Now we look at the alignment. Very important if you're fitting coilovers or any arms to your cars. Don't just by eye go, it'd be grand, because you could be driving around with the car handled woefully and all the wheels all over the place. Because at the moment we've measured that on the back, but look how different it is when it comes to the alignment, right? So this is all pretty much set from you on the cars, and you thought that was pretty okay, and look how far it is out. So camber on the back, there's almost one degree completely different. This is 1 degree out on the toe. You can see here on the camber on the front, there's almost half a degree of camber difference in it, and that's maxed out on the front, so it's still a difference even if it's maxed out. So this is just from stuff moving around when the car settles down. So what we're going to try and do now is line all that up, which at least means that all the car itself, we might be able to take a little bit of camber out of the back of it. We're running 7.5 degrees of camber on the back, which is pretty extreme.
-8 on the other side, look.
-8 of camber on this side. So I think we'll try and get it somewhere near maybe 7 would probably be about right.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll take it for a test drive then and it should be okay. So let's let the master, Wayne Curran, doesn't look like a master, but he actually knows.
He's got a
he knows how to press
steady
the
lean on
seat
right
rail
there.
out.
Leave me alone and it'll be alright, I'll work away.
So basically us annoying Wayne slows down. So what Wayne does now is he just presses the alignment button on this, and it just, all those things just move it all.
I've got one of those on my computer, just the
edit button.
Edit button.
Yep, I have the spend button. That's what I
That's just add to cart.
That's add to cart, check out. So yeah, let's get Wayne to work here, and let's see if this thing, when it's all done, can drive down the road on a pretty bumpy road and be pretty sweet with some nice stance. Alright, so it's aligned. Moment of truth. Has our calculations been correct? Or will it still go and rub everywhere and fall apart?
It may rub on the front a little bit because of the inner arch.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'd be too bad.
We've got some bucket seats going in this as well. Bucket seats are going in, new steering wheel's going in.
You need to get rid of this as well.
This is, well, we need to get rid of the automatic box first of all. Right, you ready for the 140 horsepowers of absolute mentalness?
No! No, it's trying. It's doing something. But you know what it's not doing?
Rubbing. It's actually quite comfortable, isn't it?
Stylish and comfortable.
This road here now is very bumpy, watch.
People have like a test drive for like corners and stuff like that. This is the test ride for bumping.
I can definitely feel that it's a little bit more lively on the back because it has not as much grip on the back because the wheels aren't on the ground. But that's what happens when you've got 30% of the tyre on the ground and the rest of it's sitting looking cool. Oh, little,
well, you know what? Oh,
a little bit on the front.
little bits.
Get a
I
little
mean,
bit.
mine does that.
Does yours do that?
Yeah, mine does a little bit of rub like that. That's like a light rub.
It's not bad though. Drives nice. It's drivable, very drivable. Like you're not thinking too much about it being stanced until you look out the wing mirror and you go, ha! There's my wheel sticking outside.
Yep, there it is.
I'm pretty happy with that. I think a couple of clicks harder on the front just to stop that little scuffing going on. Everything else is pretty sweet. Yeah, one car, stanced, comfortable, drivable, aligned. Thank you to hardrace.ie and thank you to BC Racing Coilovers and thanks to Wayne for his incredible patience with our stupid cars. Let's go back to the shed. Now it's time for the Supra.
So will the second job go as successful as the first?
We had a bad week last week. We're on a bit of a roll. GX100 looks sensational. Started rain, not letting it dampen my mood. BC's have arrived for the Supra. We've been wanting to do this since we got this car to give it a proper nice stance. That's very stancy. This is going to be more functional and performance based because obviously we're putting power mods into this car. So here they are. Here's the car. Wayne's ready. We're ready. Finally this thing will be low. So we've lowered the back, lowered the front. Front should be a little bit lower than it was originally. The back, I had a problem with the fitment. Great thing about the BCs is that they have such a range of adjustment that you can kind of go up and down, and they're obviously made for the car, so it's easy to use them. So let's see if we've got it nailed.
So you're looking for no arch gap.
Yeah, front is perfect. Back is pretty good. And the reason I don't want to go that much lower on the back is because it does squat. I want it to squat and get grip. So this car is going to have a lot of power eventually, so I want it to have a little bit of room for squat.
Well, this will actually settle a little bit lower.
And it'll settle lower on the back and the front anyway when we start driving it. So tomorrow is probably a good indication of how low it is because it's obviously been up and down. But I think that is spot on the front, spot on the back. It used to have a bigger arch gap, doesn't have that now. And this car squats a little bit under load, which I need to allow for. So I'm actually really happy with that. That's really, really cool. Just adds a little bit more presence to the car, I think. So I think it'll settle a little bit from there, probably be a little lower tomorrow. We'll get some shots in the morning of it. So fast forward to a nice, oh please let it be sunny tomorrow, not rainy, I don't know at this stage.
It's not going to be.
Is it going to be? It's going to be rainy, isn't it? We'll try and do it in the rain. We'll try and get some shots of this and the GX100 tomorrow to show you guys how the BC coilovers and all the alignment and all the stance and fitment comes together, and we'll show you the final results. Let's shoot to that. All right guys, it's the next day and I have no Supra because our buddy Keane is getting married tomorrow and he's using the Supra as his wedding car, so I dropped it over last night, so we don't have it. But it does ride beautifully on the BCs, I can tell you that for nothing. However, I just want to round up this episode by giving you a little bit of knowledge. I mean, we're not experts on this, but I'm just going to show you on this wheel. It's an SSR Minerva. So when it comes to stance, I'm going to try and summarize everything we went through in this episode. So this is the width of the wheel. I think this wheel is about 9.5. What your offset means essentially is where the face of the wheel is. So that would be dead zero offset, which would be halfway, and then negative offset is back here, so you've got more of the front lip out there, and plus offset means this is a plus offset, so as you can see the lip of the wheel is further out this way. Now this is also affected by the width of the wheel, so remember if you have a 10.5 inch wheel, that affects the offset too. So the best thing you can do if you want to get good stance on your car is measure the wheels that are already on there, start making your calculations from there. After that, if you want to go for a flush fitment like we did on the Supra, you can kind of calculate that with spacers, or you can calculate it with the wheel itself before you buy it, so you can kind of know it's perfect. When you buy wheels that are too big like I did, you're going to need to do suspension work, camber arms, all that good stuff. Remember, you can't just buy camber arms to get camber. Sometimes you have to buy the other arms around it to make sure that the wheel aligns, because when you camber the wheel, it's going to start towing in or going all over the place. So that's what we did on the GX100. I'm really happy with the results we got on that car. Obviously, the most important thing on all of that to go low is BC Racing Coilovers. cannot recommend them enough. I think I have BC Racing coilovers now in every single car I own. They're phenomenal, the ride quality is amazing, and the adjustability is the most important thing. You can soft, hard, you can set it up for whatever setup you have on the car. If you have any questions about offset or anything like that, we might discuss a bit more of it down the line, but pretty much these kind of wheels, because they're second hand and they're bought because they're so rare, you kind of have to make them work on your car, and it takes about 6 months to get a wheel like this. So what I would suggest is getting on Strom wheels or CM wheels, and you can get the right wheel for your car instantly next day, and it works out very, very well. And to be honest, the prices are much more reasonable as well. So BC Racing and Strom wheels are my recommendation, and CM wheels for getting your car sorted if you've got a European car or anything like that. If you've got an old JDM car, it's a little bit more work, but you saw us go through that today. Now, future episode, we're going to be jumping onto the S15. It's just come back from bodywork. It looks like an absolute hen house, but it's going to look very pretty very soon. So stay tuned for more episodes. We're building all these cars for Dubshed at the start of April. We're hoping to get all of the cars finished for that. It's going to be a tough couple of weeks, spending about 3 weeks to do it, and we're 1 week away in the Middle East, so it's going to be very, very tight. But you guys are along for the ride. So hit the subscribe button, check out the merch store. We'll see you guys on the next episode.